loses 4, and it brings up 4th. So on 4th down, on is the punter, Pat O'Donnell, to kick it away. Lucky Whitehead back deep for Dallas. So a minute 56 to play in this first half. We're back to Soldier Field following this short break. They'll start the drive with Elliott. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
To throw on 2nd down is Romo. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Dez Bryant, the intended receiver. And that is going to set up a 3rd and 1.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
So it is 3rd down now, but less than a yard to go. They come out here in the eye, and they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he's going to have the 1st down yardage to the 35. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Romo here on 1st down. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1. Well, Charles, last week we did some fantasy draft talk, and we've got more drafts coming up this week. The Madden draft on September 1st that I'm in, so give me a few names. Who's poised for a breakout?
I can't wait to follow this throughout the year and see how you're doing.
You're going to laugh at me.
You know, you've gone into the Shark Tank here.
I have.
All right, some big-time players, but what little bit I know about it, I know you've got to start with a runner, right? Is it a Todd Gurley? Is it a Ezekiel Elliott? Is it an Adrian Peterson? But I keep hearing Antonio Brown from the Pittsburgh Steelers may be the #1 pick for everyone.
And
all
Odell
throughout
Beckham
fantasy world.
Odell Beckham up toward the top as well.
Oh, without a doubt. And I'm telling you something, I'm going to give you one. I'm going to give you my sleeper on that. Jordy Nelson with the Green Bay Packers. He is back. He's ready to go. And Aaron Rodgers is motivated this year. I think that there'll be a big-time connection.
And a great spot to start this drive from here. Following the fumble recovery, it's Cutler. On the right side, this is Miller. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that'll make this a 2nd down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Now Cutler. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
It looked like they had something there, but I think that he was thinking about running with the football before he actually hauled it in, and that led to a big drop.
Well, they need to get to the 29 if they want to pick up a first here on 3rd down. A nickel back added defensively as they look to stop this 3rd and 8. Now Cutler looking to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. Eddie Royal is intended target. And that'll bring up 4th down.
The days of knowing your assignment, dropping to it, and calling it a day, that's over with. Because now, when you drop into a zone, especially as a defensive back, you're seeing the play in front of you. So if a man wanders into your area, guess what? Now it goes from zone to man coverage in many cases. And on this particular play, able to see the play in front of him, react to it, and knock the ball away. Gotta like what you just saw there if you like zone defense.
46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And a fumble last time. Ball security. Talk about it all the time in the National Football League. They've got to be better at it on this drive.
Don't you think that when every team gets together for the first time, I don't care if it's OTAs, mini camps, first day of camp in the regular season, ball security comes up about, what, the second sentence of the coach's address?
And those are so many drills focus on that.
All the time, and they do drills to make it even tougher to simulate game situations. Doesn't always work out, though.
So, Charles, well, we got a quick breather here. Wanted to ask you, as we get to the end of preseason, cuts are happening fast.
Yeah.
These front offices, you've told me, they are watching closely to see if someone's cut, where can they add to their roster, right?
Exactly. It's similar to the draft where they have a ready list of players that they aren't sure are going to get drafted, but they really liked and want to sign as a priority free agent. They do the same thing during this time of year. They sit in meetings. Different scouts are assigned to different teams, and they've compiled a list of players they think fit their team. If they get cut by those other teams, they want to be able to pounce and go get that guy and add him to their roster once the cuts are done.
Now here's a whistle and a timeout. It's called by the receiving team here. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. A 46-yard punt, 4-yard return. And possession will change here with very little time remaining until halftime. The Bears offense now getting ready to take over. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Alshon Jeffrey, the intended receiver. And that'll make it 2nd and 10.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
And they're going to go soft on the corners. 2nd and 10 now. It's Cutler. Jeffrey with a catch left side. A really good pickup of 28 yards. A big completion there, and he gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
Very heady football. That allows them the opportunity to go ahead and line up and kick one right before the half ends.
So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. From the left hash, this will be a 52-yard attempt. And the 11-year veteran bangs it through, and it's 3-0. The Bears hit the scoreboard first. So they kick it through to take the lead. There is a little bit of time left, though, here in the second quarter.
And while they're concerned about not giving up a big return or giving up points themselves going into the half, how good do they feel, though, putting points on the board themselves right near the end of the first half?
And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. The return will come from Sonoris Perry. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. So here's the Bears offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. On first down, it's Cutler. It's grabbed over the middle by White. It's a 4-yard pickup, and it'll make it second down. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. To throw, Cutler. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
That was a classic example of trying to run with the ball without securing the catch. He was thinking about those rack yards instead of making the catch first and then taking off.
So the offense dealing with a 3rd and 6. They isolate Jeffrey to the left side. On 3rd down, Cutler. It's caught. Eddie Royal. And he will have the first down as he's brought down up near midfield. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
And fits the exact right word. Over the middle, there's almost always traffic, so anytime you're a receiver in that area, you're not just focused on catching the football. You're wondering where the collision's going to come from, right? Because there's almost always someone there able to concentrate, catch it, and even added a little extra at the end with a short run.
They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot in what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
The insistence of speed at every position is really seen at the defensive end spot. These guys in the old days were often outside linebackers. They just pushed them forward because they wanted to play fast and get to the quarterback or the running backs quicker than ever before.
Now Cutler to throw on 2nd down. Oh, he's got him in wide open, complete. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Well, it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
And here comes play number 6 on this drive. From the red zone now, here's Cutler on 1st down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Charles Tapper in there to get him for a loss of 5. Inside 4 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. On 2nd down, Cutler checks it underneath to Langford. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. Give him 8 on the play, and they're going to face a 3rd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
8th play of the drive forthcoming, and they need 8 yards on 3rd down. And on 3rd down, the Cowboys bring in an extra defensive back. Cutler will throw. He hits Rodgers in the flat. And he's got the first down as he gets it to the 8. It's a 10-yard gain there, and it sets him up now 1st and goal. Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defensive side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy. They're able to get a little more rest over on the sidelines while this one continues downfield.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and find?
And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. Eddie Royal from 8 yards out. And the Bears will extend their lead. Well, that's about as quick of a passing touchdown as you'll ever see right there.
Everyone has a section in their playbook called the quick game. That was the super quick game. Out of the hands of the thrower, bam, right to the receiver, successfully for a touchdown.
How in-depth is that quick game part of the playbook?
It's pretty in-depth because people want the ball in the hands of the quarterback into the playmaker's hands downfield as fast as possible. There are a lot of plays, a lot of options involved with that.
Now it's Lucky Whitehead on the return. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. A look at the offense now here, coming back out on the road for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use, just something to get you off to a quick start.
Here's Romo now on second down. He's going to air one out. And he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on, third down.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first.
Well, the advantage has certainly shifted to the defense as we began that third down play, and they found a way to foil it and pick up a first down.
Third time's a charm, right? 2 incompletions. Had to have it on third, and they got it.
Yeah, they stuck with it, weren't daunted at all, and picked it up.
And he's got this one just across midfield to the 49. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
To throw is Romo. And this one caught by Dez Bryant. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
This is actually pretty surprising that the first time Tony Romo and Dez Bryant find each other is in the second half of the game.
Yeah, and that's obviously a big reason why they're losing right now.
Yeah, and it's really important for them and their offense to get Dez the ball early, get him involved, get him in sync, because when he doesn't catch it, you never know how he's going to react, and sometimes it's not very favorable.
It's a 5-receiver set, 3 to the left, 2 to the right. On 1st and 10, Romo. He rifles one that's intercepted. And nothing but daylight ahead. A great read, and it's picked off. And they will score a pick 6 for a Bears touchdown.
Now, that was a beautiful play. A pick 6. How would you punctuate something like that, partner?
What do you mean, with an exclamation mark?
Exclamation mark, a big word. What would you do with that?
Ampersand?
I like it.
And, it's no good on the PAT, so they can't add on here. And our score is going to stay right where it is. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Dallas offense now heading back out onto the field. And following the pick 6, and they had decent field position in throwing that pick 6. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told us they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
Offense staying ahead of the chains here, 2nd and 3. They'll come out in the pistol. On 2nd down, here's Romo. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
I know that interception was dropped, and it would have been their 3rd of the game, and I will guarantee you, in the huddle, on the bench, all the defensive guys have been talking about is, we've got this guy right where we want him. Who's going to get the next one? It almost becomes a challenge, and they've missed a golden opportunity.
They'll try and run for it with Elliott. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. And the offense moving quickly to the line.
Let's go.
And now they come up and spike it to stop the clock. They'll run it now out of the gun. And not much room to operate as he'll get this up only to about the 41. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to third down.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. And that is incomplete. Cole Beasley, the intended target. And it'll be fourth down.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he sensed being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. Oh, it's a wobbler here. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. Well, not good at all. Punt of just 24 yards there. And the Bears take over. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
They come out with one back and 3 tight ends. Langford again. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. And in this situation with the lead fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take. Puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
They go screenplay to Langford. And he's brought down. A solid gain of 15 yards, and the sticks move.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
On first down, it's Cutler. Royal making the catch over the middle. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it'll be a 2nd down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Inside give. This is the fullback, Young. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line.
Well, not a lot of flash and dash on that play. 2nd and 2, and they hand it to the big man, and he ends up picking up a first down. A little bit of gray area there, though, but I think what they thought, hey, we hand it to him here. If we come back and don't get it, we still got another down to try and pick it up.
And now the offense operates in the red zone. The first carry here for Jaquiz Rogers. And able to fight forward inside the 15 to the 13. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. Well, they'll take that every time with a lead, first down, fourth quarter, getting 8 yards. You love that.
They will take it, and you have to ask the defensive guys, why did you give it? I mean, you know the situation. You're down, have to stop them, have to get the football back, but 8 yards on first down puts them back on their heels.
Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. Offense in a good spot here, 2nd and 2. Now a handoff. It's Langford. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 4 yards on the play, and that leads to the 1st and goal.
Not too many more ideal situations at 2nd and 2 in order to try and pick up a first down. They ran it and picked it up.
The lone setback is Langford. Cutler's going to throw it. This will be caught at about the 5. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 2nd and goal.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
second down, here's Cutler. No gain on that one, and it's going to bring up a third down. And the D has an extra defensive back here on a very important third down.
Definite pass here.
This defense bending but not breaking. It's a gain of 3. It's now 4th and goal.
That run didn't get very far, and I think when you're looking at his dimensions, he's a little bit on the smaller side. He's counting on the big guys up front to escort him in, and they couldn't create any kind of space for him, could they?
Yeah, didn't get the push they needed. Gold is able to put it through, and that will make this now a 19-point advantage. And that field goal caps an 11-play drive.
That's a lot of offense to run to only get 3 points, but they'll take them. Anytime you can put anything on the board, you run to your sideline somewhat happy.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The offense for the Cowboys now working their way back onto the field. They are down big. They have not scored a single point. I don't know. Are they so defeated at this point you just want to get in the locker room and get the heck out of here?
That is one way to approach it. Sometimes coaches say, that's it, okay? It hasn't worked all game. There's no sense in doing something now. Let's get out of here. No one gets hurt. But others will look at it and say, we still have an opportunity to do something.
On the line.
Exactly. You have pride on the line, execution as you look forward and get ready for your next game, and a message to your team. We're not going to quit. No matter what the battle is, we're going to finish this thing out.
Now it's Romo going right side. He has Witten, and he's brought down. And, you know, winning is good for all the obvious reasons.